President Trump is promising to take a stronger look at the nation's immigration policies following this week's shooting in D.C., even demanding so-called reverse migration. NewsNation's Libbey Dean is traveling with the president. Libbey, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Nick. So the Trump administration and the president here are using the suspect's background as an Afghan national as a reason to crack down even further on their immigration enforcement plan. We heard that from the president last night, and then he posted yet again on social media about this in a late night post saying he now plans to permanently pause migration from all third world countries and end federal benefits and subsidies for non-U.S. citizens, as well as support any foreign national who is a public safety threat. The president goes on in this post to say that they'll deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or, quote, non-compatible with Western civilization. Now, any of those potential moves that the president is announcing there have the chance here of course, being blocked by the courts. We don't know the official process of how that is going to move forward, but the president making that announcement late last night after we spoke with him at Mar-a-Lago. Let's take a listen to that.
The suspect does have a wife and 5 children who live in Washington. Do you plan to deport them?
The suspect has?
The suspect?
Well, we're looking at that right now. We're looking at the whole situation with family. It's a tragic situation.
Of course, you just detailed that this suspect was flown in under the Biden administration.
Yeah.
But was he granted asylum under your administration?
When it comes to asylum, when they're flown in, it's very hard to get them out. No matter how you want to do it, it's very hard to get them out. But we're going to be getting them all out now.
So the president not directly answering my question there on if this suspect was granted asylum during his administration. We know that he was flown in under the Biden administration during Operation Allies Welcome after that withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, as for what's happening here on the ground, Nick, President Trump has arrived at his golf club here today. We know he's going to have lunch here. We'll see how long he is here. But, of course, as we're here, Nick, we're awaiting any potential update on Andrew Wolf's condition, of course.
Libby, quick question for you. What more do we know about the president's call to bring more troops to D.C.?
Yeah, Nick, President Trump is doubling down here on bringing in more National Guard troops into D.C. He wants 500 of them, and he's asking the Department of War to grant him that request. We haven't seen that actually play out as when those National Guard are going to be on the ground in D.C., but the president was asked about this during those remarks at Mar-a-Lago last night. I want us to take a listen to that exchange.
Are there any changes you want to make to improve safety for National Guardsmen who are being sent into these cities?
No, just I want to have more. As you know, we're sending 500 more. We had very little crime in Washington now for, many months.
Very little crime. And, of course, this tragedy did strike in Washington, D.C., just near the White House. Now, at the time of the shooting, just under 2,100 Guard members were on duty in the D.C. area. And right now, there are 7 states who have Guard members deployed to D.C. That is Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, West Virginia, Georgia, and Alabama. Of course, we know those 2 National Guardsmen who were tragically shot, they hailed from West Virginia. And Governor McMaster is saying that he's sending 300 Guards members from South Carolina to relieve some of those Georgia Guardsmen who have been there for months now, because we know President Trump and his administration announced this crime crackdown by bringing in the National Guard, and they have been on the ground there in D.C. patrolling the streets. And then, of course, tragedy did strike. And the president, as I mentioned, we're awaiting the condition of Andrew Wolf. I've asked the White House if the president has spoken with Andrew's family. Nick, I'm told by a White House official that late last night, President Trump did speak with Sarah Beckstrom's family after she tragically did lose her life, Nick.
Libbey Dean at Mar-a-Lago, traveling with the president. Libbey, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.